Good day. I'm Orven Casido from Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering, Section GF, second year. My topic is all about agriculture. My first project in programming was entitled the Rice Harvesting Simulator. The objective of my program is to design a computer program that will simulate rice harvesting and deliver options to provide better background on rice farming. Thus, the program can give you a choice or a specific task that will carry out a particular command. Program description. Depending on the user's needs, the application has 5 different modes available. By entering the date the rice was planted, the first mode calculated the number of days needed to harvest the rice. The second mode is used to estimate the volume of water required for a rice field's entire irrigation system. The third mode is to decide whether the fertilizer is best for growing crops. The fourth mode offers to control pests by showing some information on how to prevent some of them. The fifth option, which comes last, involves calculating the entire revenue from the harvested rice that will be sold on the market. The program will still enable the computation of the total income, whether it is done in kilos or by adding up all the bags of harvested rice. Thus, the program will enable farmers to innovate and improve the efficiency of their regular agricultural systems. So here is the sample source code of my program. Actually, it has a total of 512 lines of codes. And this is the sample output or the screenshots of my program. So much for that. So now let's try to run the actual program. So if we run the actual program, madadirect po tayo dito sa main menu or the actual interface po ng aking program, which is nakaprint po yung Welcome to Rice Farming Simulator, which is offering po ng 5 available modes po. So the first mode is the date estimation of harvesting the rice. Second mode is the irrigation system. Third mode is the fertilizer information. The fourth mode is the pest removal, and the fifth mode is the rice total income calculator. So ngayon po, isi-try po natin yung first mode, which we will type number 1 in the keyboard. Let's press enter. So mapiprint po yung date estimation of harvesting the rice. So naka-indicate naman po dito kung na kailangan po nating mag-enter in numbers. So the first question asked by the program was the day when the rice was planted. So for instance po is nagplant po tayo ng ika-25th ng January. So mapiprint po is approximately it will be harvested around May 29. You will harvest it on dry season. So dito po is sinaad po na ma-harvest po natin yung tinanim nating rice noong dry season. So may indicate din po dito if i-harvest po natin siya in wet season. So try po natin. Let's run the program. So for instance is 5th of July, which is 7. Approximately it will be harvested around November 8. You will harvest it on dry season. So in-indicate po dito kung ano po natin season ma-harvest yung rice, which is very useful po sa mga farmers sa pag-estimate po kung kailan po nila pwedeng itanim at i-harvest yung rice nila. So ito naman pong November 8 dito. Ito po is estimation lang po by adding up 125 days po from the beginning kung kailan po tinanim yung rice. So what if naman po mag-input po tayo ng negative input. So for instance po is 1 day when the rice was planted, let's say negative 23. So month when the rice was planted, so 15, wala naman pong ika-15 na month. So paprint po is invalid input. So it will instruct us to please restart the program. So now let's proceed on to second mode, which is the irrigation system. So mapiprint po yung calculating the irrigation usage. Then the program will ask the user to input the number of minutes the irrigation was running. So let's say 120 minutes. So it will ask us how many stations are in the rice field. So let's say 5 stations. it will compute the total minutes the irrigation was running. So ngayon naman po is ask naman po ng program kung ilang gallons po yung nakokolekta po nung irrigation. So let's say 5 gallons po. So mako-compute po yung total gallons used per watering cycle, which is 3,000. Now po is the program, ngayon naman po, yung program is i-ask tayo kung ilang days per month po tayo nagwo-water. So let's say 20 days po. So it will result to 60,000 total gallons of water used per month. So ang goal po nitong irrigation system is to compute po kung gaano po karami yung volume po ng tubig na nagagamit natin per month. So next naman po is, since gallons po is di po masyadong gamit dito, ngayon po is yung program ko po is designed to convert gallons to liters. So if yes, so input po natin yung total gallons. So let's say 60,000 gallons. It will result to 227,124.72 liters. So end of program. So dito po nagtapos yung akin pong second mode na irrigation system. So what if naman po mag-input po tayo ng negative inputs. So let's run both to again. Number of minutes, let's say 89. Let's say 5. It will result on negative input. So let's say ngayon naman po is magtry naman po tayo ng number of gallons. So 5 hanggang sa mag-negative po siya, and number of days per month you water, say 5, and let's put negative input. It will result to invalid input, or again it will instruct us to restart the program. So now let's try the third mode, which is the fertilizer information. So third mode offers to give you 4 different fertilizers that has informations inside it. So let's try manure, which is the first mode. It will give you this informations. So now let's try the second option in fertilizer information, which is the compost. Again, it will show you some informations about that. So now let's try the bone meal, which is the third option. Same result. And lastly, let's try the rock phosphate. Same result as well. So what if we input negative inputs or invalid inputs? So let's say 8, which is wala naman po sa choices. So 8, invalid input. Please restart the program. So now let's continue on the fourth mode, which is the pest removal. So the fourth mode shows you this information. Now let's proceed on the fifth mode. Let's type 5, which is the rice total income calculator. So rice total income calculator offers po kung paano po natin i-compute yung ating harvested rice. So the first option is given by the per kilograms of harvested rice, while the second option is per sack of harvested rice. So let's try po yung number 1, yung per kilograms. So the program will ask us how much we want to sell the rice husk. So let's say 80 pesos per kilograms. Now, the total kg of rice. Kung ilan po yung total kg po ng ating rice. So let's say 50 kg. It will result to 4,000 pesos of the total income. So ngayon po, may option po yung program ko, which kung kailangan po natin mag-deduct ng amount, since sa pag-harvest naman po ng rice, dun po sa process ng pag-harvest is di naman po natin maiwasan gumastos, gaya po ng sa mga abono, ganun. So let's say 1, yes. So let's say amount we want to deduct, let's say 1,000 pesos worth of fertilizers. So it will print out 3,000 pesos, which is the final amount of the harvested rice. So end of program. So now, what if we input invalid inputs? So let's say 5. How much do we want to sell? Negative 900. total kg of rice, say 900, it will result into invalid input, or it will again instruct us to please restart the program to run the program again. So now let's try the second option, which is the per sack of harvested rice. So let's say number 2, total sacks of harvested rice. Let's say 20 sacks of harvested rice. So let's input the value of per rice naman po. Let's say 500 pesos po. So it will total into 10,000 pesos. So again, just like the first option, may instruction din po dito. May option din po dito if we want to deduct some amount. So let's say yes. Let's say we want to deduct 2,000 pesos. It will print the final amount of 8,000 pesos. So again, let's try if we input invalid inputs. So let's say 5, 2, 1. It will result into an invalid input. And again, it will instruct us to please restart the program. So now, given on the available modes, what if mag-input po tayo ng hindi po pasok sa mode? So let's say 8, kasi wala naman pong 8 dito sa available modes. It will result again into an invalid mode. Let's say naman po is 0, invalid mode din po. And lastly, some negative inputs, 45. So invalid mode. So this program is inabot po siya ng about 511 lines of codes po by using switch and else if statements lang po. So here is a quick scan po ng aking program. So this is all about the rice farming simulator po. Thank you po.